Communication skills are at a low ebb in Japan. The culture shies away from loquacious types, believing one shouldn't speak much or stand out. The language itself is indirect, highly circuitous, vague, and subtle to the extreme. It is also spoken as a monotone, just adding to the problems. No wonder even smart, well-educated people underwhelm when they present in this country. Finding a great Japanese presenter is fraught with difficulty. Welcome back to this weekly edition every Tuesday of the Cutting Edge Japan Business Show. I'm your host, Dr. Greg Story, your corporate coaching and training guy, president of Dale Carnegie Training Japan, and two-time best-selling author of Japan Sales Mastery and my new book, Japan Business Mastery. We are bringing the show to you from our studio in the High Performance Center in Akasaka, in Minato-ku, the business center of Tokyo. Why the cutting edge? In this show, we are looking at the critical areas for success in business in this country. We want to help advance everyone's thinking so that we can be at the forefront, at the cutting edge of how to flourish here in this market. Before we get into this week's topic, here is what caught my attention lately. The number of newborns in Japan hit a record low of 918,397 in the year 2018. The margin of decrease in the population at 444,000 was the largest since data became available in the year 1899. The total fertility rate is down to 1.42, raising doubt about Prime Minister Shinzo Abe achieving the government's goal of 1.8 set for March 2026. The average age for Japanese women to give birth to their first child stood at 30.7 years. In other news, 1 in 4 people aged 80 or older still drive. The ratio of fatal accidents by drivers over 75 has been increasing. In the year 2008, it was 8.7%. Last year, it was almost double to 14.8%. Finally, Mizuho Financial Group plans to change its personnel policy to allow employees to hold side jobs by the end of next March. They are hoping that they will use the ideas and experience they acquire outside of the group to create new financial services at Mizuho. They are hoping their employees will make use of the experiences in startups, manufacturing companies, and other industries to create new business ideas for Mizuho. Other companies such as SoftBank and Unicharm are also allowing staff to hold side jobs. This is episode number 115, and we're talking about, surprisingly, smart people are often clueless at presenting. それでは行きましょう. So let's get going. Japan is an interesting place. So many things here are ultra-modern, high-tech, totally nuanced and sophisticated. You take it for granted that your refrigerator door opens from either side and is deathly quiet, that your vacuum cleaner is very lightweight and efficient, that your toilet has more control options than most aircraft. So when you hit something out of character, well, you really notice a difference. Presenting skills is the outlier. We were brought in to consult for and train a very large company's CEO for a key speech he will be making. We looked at the last year's speech by the previous CEO. All attempts to humanise the speech had been deleted by that president, and it was boiled down to boiled cabbage, an amorphous lump with no life, passion, energy, or interest. The explanation was that the audience was made up of presidents of related companies, and boiled cabbage was all they could handle. Anything else might be considered too radical. In the baking world, it is acceptable to fail, as long as you fail conventionally. Presenting in Japan would seem to be the same case. When it comes to communication and persuasion when presenting, this is a big blocker to progress in Japan. The level is so low here that the audience has been trained to expect boiled cabbage, and if they don't get it, they are unhappy. This sucks even smart people into the vortex of underperformance and even stupidity in some cases. Watching a very, very innovative, well-educated scientist and entrepreneur destroy his presentation really brought home to me the professional gap between presenting in Japan and elsewhere. He is obviously very smart, has become a legend in Japan for innovation, and is rightly lauded for the pioneering work he is doing. His content in his presentation was very, very good, but the delivery was very, very bad. The full message was lost because of the way he presented it. He could have been so much more effective by doing one ridiculously simple thing. Presenters in Japan, don't put everything on the one slide in multicolours, creating a screaming screen nightmare. The slide he had up was a massive jumble of ideas that stole from the key point he wanted to get across. Slides are free. We can have as many as we want these days. So why try to cram all of the information onto one screen? Because it's all up there at once. He had to use differentiating colours to try and help us navigate through the psychedelic fog. You might have thought this wasn't a bad idea, and maybe you should do that for yourself at the next opportunity. In fact, it makes things a lot worse, because the audience now has too much visually to absorb on screen. It is all competing and cannibalising against itself. Find out more when we come back from the break. If you want to become a fully competent and confident presenter, then do the High Impact Presentations course. We are all being judged when we speak, be it in the internal team meeting or in a public environment, be it the big bosses, clients, or an industry audience. Everyone is evaluating us. Don't blow it. Get the best training on the planet. Do the High Impact Presentations course now in either Japanese or English. Are you doing business with Japan? Do you really know how things work? Japan Business Mastery provides the answers. Do you have the right networks and know how to create them? Do you know how to get on the same wavelength with Japanese buyers? Do you know what being trustworthy looks like from the Japanese perspective? Japan Business Mastery is based on more than 30 years' experience in Japan and will become your go-to guide. Want to succeed in Japan? Buy Japan Business Mastery now. Welcome back. He is a very smart guy. So why doesn't he get such a simple thing right? The issue is that awareness in Japan of how it should be done is so low. There are so few role models here. So everyone winds up copying all the dud examples of presenting duds. This becomes the stock standard approach and everyone fails, but fails conventionally, so no problem. Well, perhaps no problem as long as you only present in Japan and only to Japanese people. We can all become too screen reliant in a lot of cases. Do we really need to visually support what we are saying with slides? Sometimes one slide is enough. I saw the Starbucks head, Howard Schultz, give a speech in Japan using one slide with only their logo on it. The talk was very effective because we had to concentrate on the words. In other cases, when the content is complex, then properly ordered and prepared slides helps to sort and clarify the information we are receiving. If we decide to use slides, then the platinum rule is one idea per slide. This is pretty simple, isn't it? It doesn't mean we can't use many slides, though. If we are clicking through slides every few seconds, we can actually whip through large numbers of slides in a 30-minute speech. There is no legitimate link between the number of slides and the length of the talk. It very much revolves around your objective. A different slide every couple of seconds may be appropriate if the idea is we want to reinforce images of the company or the business or tell a story visually. A very limited number of slides may be better if we want to go very deep into the subject matter. By restricting the number, we force the audience to concentrate on the limited ideas we want to register with them. When we have one idea per slide, we can dispense with the coat of many colours approach. Sometimes a simple image on screen, which we use as a backdrop to what we are going to say, works well. It might have the image and a single word, and we elaborate on that word and image. I saw a presentation recently where that was the method used. It was one of the highest quality presentations I have seen in a long time. The content was complex. The ideas were mind-numbingly large, but the delivery was excellent. The simple image and single word meant that we very quickly were understanding the visual point and could open our minds up to the ideas in the complex message. Smart people in Japan, stop doing unnecessary, clueless things with your presentations, please. The Cutting Edge Japan Business Show is here to help you. We want you to succeed in Japan. Subscribe on YouTube. Share it with your family, friends, and colleagues. Become a regular. Thank you for watching this episode, and remember, hit the subscribe button. Our website details are on screen now. enjapan.dalecarnegie.com, Awesome value, so please take a look. Also, please leave me some feedback on YouTube. I would love to know how this show helped and what other topics you are interested in for me to cover. Remember, I'm here as a free resource to help you. So just tell me how I can help you best. You might also enjoy my other weekly shows. For podcasts, Mondays for the Cutting Edge Japan Business Show, podcast version. Tuesday for the Presentations Japan series. Wednesdays for the Sales Japan series. Thursdays for the Leadership Japan series. And Fridays for the Japan Business Mastery Show. Now you find these wherever you get your podcasts. Also, on Fridays, I release my other TV show, the Japan Business Mastery Show. That's on YouTube. Check it out. In episode 116, we are talking about lawyers are not special. They need to sell their services too. Find out about that next week. So, yoroshiku onegai itashimasu. Please join me for the next episode of the Cutting Edge Japan Business Show. We are here to help you, and we have only got one direction in mind for you and your business, and that is up.